a structure of a game always has values. It's always reflecting all the thoughts and ideas that's behind a game. So, when you pick a game or playing, you have to realize what is the short consequences and what is the long term. What are the long-term consequences? All right? Okay. I used to work at Gallery Legepark. I've done that for 10 years. It's a place where we celebrate just playing. There's absolutely almost nothing down there but some bricks of wood. But there's a lot of people running around playing and throwing those bricks of wood or playing together. Yeah, you should come and see. It's an awful long way away from everything. It's outside Slagelse, but that's another story. Right now, I'm mostly working with melting games into the real world, outside a play park. And that's mostly into schools. And I'm working mostly with school teachers. They're more or less, some of them, the hardest people to get to play. Because they've spent years and years and years making the pupils sit still and not smile. When a school teacher picks a structure to make people follow, they very often use a structure that we use right now. There's a structure that we know very, very, very well. A lot of people are sitting still as possible. Don't move on your chairs. I saw a smile there. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be knowledge. You know. Yeah. It's a structure where you are supposed to sit and nod if you're going to move, and it's really interesting. If you're about to fall asleep, you're going to look like you're awake, right? And I'm just going to talk for hours and hours. That's a structure, and it could be called a game, because to me, a game is a structure as well. It's a rule, it's a set of rules that we know we all have to follow. If we're going to be a part of this, we have to follow it. So it's a game in that sense. It's a structure of our oh damn it, I'm used to I have a Danish vocabulary struggling with here. That's structuring our togetherness and the way we are supposed to be physical in that togetherness. Right now, you're supposed to be absolutely non-physical, right? And if I had a lot of slides, I was supposed to be non-physical as well. Yeah? Or whatever. But when we are playing other kinds of structures than this one, we might even accept that the body, for instance, is a part of our togetherness. What I'm working with normally is plays, structures, where we can be together and be physically active at the same time. Very often when we are together and physically active, people tend to think it gets chaotic. You know, people running around and they're screaming or whatever. Or we're all looking at the same something, a third out there, someone playing on the stage or whatever. Or we are more or less being a bit like, the SS Jugend. We're doing the same thing. We're shouting for FCK or we're doing something, right? But actually keep playing and being around, it's really a fine thing. And let's say another structure. It's a structure that we also know quite a lot, that's picked very often in schools or when we work with kids, grown-ups as such. It's one of those structures that's most often used when we are physically together. It's a structure where we divide us in two teams. Let's say you're one team here, and you're one team here. And you're very good at organizing who's going to look after the goal and who's going to shoot the ball where, and you're another team here doing the same. Look, as the years go by, you become a really good team, yeah, and you suck, right? And I put you up and you play together. I call it a game, and you think this is not funny. Then, if we look at all these people that have spent years and years and years trying to find out what is the definition of a game, or what is the definition of playfulness, there's one thing lacking here. It's the fun, yeah? Because if you're not feeling very good at it, you don't find it funny, yeah? So, a thing we often do with this structure is that we continue. You keep playing, you're having a good time. You're winning and winning and winning. You keep losing, and you start doing something else, dance, whatever. Yeah. All right, it fell. What you could do with a structure like that, and what I would do if I want anything pointing further ahead than that you should just feel this is not a funny game. You could, for instance, say that those two here in the front, they're excellent players and keep making the goals. All right, look, we take the two of you here, whatever they're called in football, and we put you over here. Yeah, we take the two of you, you're not so good at it, but we put you over here, yeah? And now maybe we have more equal teams that are going to play the next football game. I can say in Denmark it would be like that we take the two best from FCK and we put them to Brøndby. They might need it, I say, yeah. So let's say we don't do that, right? We don't have Champions League and then we, in the middle, 10 minutes in, we say, okay, this is definitely not. There's one team that's a lot better than the other. Break, 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 break. Okay, we take you two and you go to the other team, right? Could you imagine the world's reaction? But what are the consequences of sticking to a structure where you keep having one loser part and one winner part? Let's say you're a group of pupils in the same class. You will be taught that there's a them and us. You will be taught that there always has to be a loser and that it's good to win and it's good that there's someone who's losing. Is that what I want you to go out in life with? Is that what it has to be? Do you have to go home and think, okay, I've been playing all day and I hated it? We could have done the other way around. So every 10 minutes we break up the setting, we rearrange the teams, and in the end we look at what construction within this 1.5 hour was working best. How was the dynamics when you two were on this team and not on this team? It could be something else. So what I'm trying to say is every structure for a game has values within. Football is one of the things that motivates most people in the world. So I'm not going to deny that football is a very interesting game for people, or a very interesting structure. We just don't have to, we'll have to face that every structure has consequences. Some on the short term, that people get engaged or sad or whatever. And some on the long term. What are we learning from the structure on a long-term basis? Let's say we could pick another structure. Do we have democratic play structures? Is football a democratic play structure? Is it interesting in a play, actually? I would say it could be rather interesting, because if we go to the definition of play, we have the set of rules. Many people agree on that one for the definition of play. We have the fun. Many people agree on that one. We have the volunteerness, just to be there on your own. Hopefully you're here on your own choice. That would help in that structure. But you also, if it's supposed to be a game, if it's supposed to be playfulness, you're supposed to be absorbed in it and engaged with the whole of you. If you're supposed to be that, you should also be able to have the power to play with the rules and play with the other people. You have that power in football in many ways, but you cannot go around in the normal way we structured that you might be the loser. I have another game I'm going to show you afterwards. I think it's going to be a little too much to do it right now. Yeah, we can do it afterwards. So almost 20 past. But we're actually I'm going to make a play where we are all going to follow the same rules. We can all interpret the rules in different ways. And there won't be a winner and a loser. And I'm going to ask you afterwards whether it's fun or not. Because the common thing people say to me, well, if there's not a loser, it's not fun. It is. You going to see. Yeah. All right, I'm going to show you different structures as well out there. And the thing is, these old games, why are they so interesting? They're not interesting because they're old. They're interesting because they hold a lot broader range of values because they're from another time. Actually, it was so that on the factories around 1905 and 10, people were playing together during their breaks, as they were playing together when they were having parties, not just sitting as we do today in Denmark. They were actually playing together. But in the breaks at work, that got forbidden because they kept playing that democratic game, where they all could interpret the rules and they were all a part of it. So instead, the owners set up other kinds of games, which would be ta-ta-ta-ta, who can run fastest. Why is that an important game to have your employees to go over and over and over again when you have a factory where you have to produce things faster and faster and faster? Because they try out the same thing as you want them to do when they're working. I go to a kindergarten or I go to a school and say, well, we play all the time. We've just been doing who runs 100 meters fastest, and we've just been doing the football with everybody losing, and and I see a bunch of kids that cannot play together. They would do bak-a-da-ka-da-dang. To me, that's not playing together. Because what you can do with a rule, with a structure, where you can all participate, is actually you can see a group of kids that are used to play all kinds of things. They do some of the 100-meter running, and they do some of that, and they're flexible with each other, and they're a lot more social. And I do think when I work with the institutions for a year, and some of the times when I've started, one fell asleep there, it's okay. But some of the times where I come the first time, it's a nightmare. You have 30 kids, and they're all going to win your 100-meter thing, because that's the thing we can do together with our bodies. That's our togetherness when we are physically active. It's finding the winners. And when I go there a year after, I see a group of kids that are actually playing together, having fun, are engaged with each other and with their bodies. And moreover, I'm a dance teacher, trained a dance teacher. So what I'm also looking for is the variation with the bodies. Is it just, or is it also some of this, blah, blah, blah? How much is accepted in the way we are together? So when you want to create a room for whoever people's togetherness, you have to consider what long-term effects does this way you put them together make. That was a long sentence. Yeah. So for instance, this setting, I would say that the 20 minutes I'm about to use now is the absolute maximum. All right? Nobody in the world has a thing that's so important that you can fill up more time than, let's say, half an hour, because otherwise you'd have everybody to participate and put in. All of you are sitting with a lot of, well, but you could do and you could think, and I've been doing that. I definitely disagree, or whatever. No? And we should make sure that we make space for that.